That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe that dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. So what one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Let me ask you something. When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Wow! I feel good.
And welcome. Happy Wednesday, everybody. This is the IRONWORX right here on freeworld.fm. Also broadcasting live to our Iron Remedy YouTube channel. But it is your regular cast of characters here this morning. Just want to say hello and welcome back, Mr. Zachary Zabala. You survived. You're alive. You've managed to brave the wilds of Sin City and live to tell the tale.
Yeah, it was pretty epic weekend, man. Oh, wow. That was, you know, when you stay up so long that you are no longer tired and it's just like delirious takes over?
Sort of.
That was that was yesterday. It didn't happen during, I mean, I always got at least like an hour or two of sleep. But like on the way home, it was insane, man. It was like 12 hours of flights and layovers. And it was like, we started in Vegas at 5 in the afternoon. And I think we got home the next day at about noon our time. But with the time changes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was just a little bit over 12 hours. And I haven't been like that in so long. To where you're just like zombified. Yeah. But it was the best one yet. I wish you all could have been there.
Me too.
I got to meet so many people. You have no idea, dude. We had people from Australia, New Zealand. Stephanie and her husband Xander came from Holland. We had a guy from France that showed up. It was pretty wild. There was Colombia. Quite a few from Canada this time. It was nice. See our, fellow brothers and sisters from the north. I know with all their crazy laws and stuff, I was worried about seeing anybody from Canada. But yeah, there was quite a few from there. I'm not sure where else. There was people. There had to be other countries with all the different. There were some thick accents too, man. Oh, a guy from Ecuador. He was talking to me about free energy, and no idea about the videos I did or anything. And he was like, I want to do free energy. Blah, blah. He's got all this land down in Ecuador. And I started showing him some of my videos. Like, man, people are already doing this stuff. You know, it's just, he's like, well, why isn't it out there? You know, it can't be real. It's like, well, when people can do it, but when people try to share it with other people, then you get in trouble. Something happens with your taxes, you end up in prison, you know, for a decade or whatever. But he was really, yeah, he started watching some of my videos, but, you know, we were at Vegas at that thing. He didn't have time. He came up to me the next day. He's like, man, okay, all right, I checked out, but I didn't really get to look into it too much. I was like, man, I know, don't worry about it. I was like, take your time. Once you get home, sit down. Figure out how, because he's got a river on his property. I was like, dude, you don't need to grab electricity from the air. You have like one of the greatest power sources running through your property. Oh man, I don't know. My mind is racing right now. I'm trying to go back and just think of all the different people that were there. And it's so cool because you have I don't call them regulars, but you're the people that are always there. There's some that are never on YouTube, never seen them on YouTube once or anywhere social. Matt, he's been at every single one of these things. I mean, I saw him in Denver. I think he started in Raleigh, maybe the year before me, but he's never missed one. He's at all these things. Yeah, it's just neat, you know, seeing people like that. That's people that I don't get to ever see online and say hi to and this and that. Just catching up with somebody that I've only ever met at festivals. And, you know, I consider him a friend. I really do. You know, as soon as you see, if I saw him in passing on the street, I'd be like, whoa, dude, what's up, man? You know, it wouldn't be just like a head nod or something. I don't know. It was, man, I'm just reeling right now, just thinking about all the different stuff. Good
Sherry in chat there, Echo, and most of the people I met at Flattoberfest 2 years ago are not on YouTube. I found that interesting. Yeah, that's what y'all all keep saying, that every time you're there, there's more people that have no clue about how to deal with YouTube or chats or any of that, and they're all in the mix at the meetup. So
a lot of teachers. We had he was a 7th grade teacher. He and his sister came from England. He was probably in his mid to late 20s, maybe. But we were talking about how you can, because people, he's a teacher. He hears all that stuff. But yeah, there are teachers getting in trouble for even mentioning the words together at the same time, flat Earth. So I told him about that one teacher that my buddy had. I was like, okay, here's an idea, you know. You never tell them the Earth is flat. You just tell them, if you want an A in science for my class, all you have to do is either prove that the Earth is round or moving. You don't ever have to turn in homework. You don't ever have to do a test. And yeah, my buddy's physics teacher did that for a high school class, for every class for like years. And he wouldn't bring it up and talk about it all the time, but beginning everyone, he wanted to, like, you know, put that little seed out there. If you can just, you know, we all know it, right? So if you can prove it, not with a picture from NASA, but you go out and prove it, then you get an A in my class. Just to get children to think, yeah, you know, he's in a hard position. I could tell that it was really eating away at him too, because he was saying, you know, I see this, you know, I have to teach some of this stuff. And it just makes me sick to my stomach knowing that, you know, we're lying to these children. I was like, well, They need somebody there like you, though, that sees that and can, you have to teach your curriculum. It's a job. You don't get to pick what you do at your job. I mean, you get a little bit of leeway here and there, but for the most part, the widget's got to come out the end of the machine. It's got to have, X, Y, and Z done to blah, blah, blah. X has to be done. You have to do it. It's just part of your job. So yeah, he has a curriculum. He has to teach it, but I could tell it was just killing him inside. I was like, dude, don't, you got to eat. But find ways to get the children to think and just question what you're teaching them. I was like, yeah, he'll figure it out. He seemed like a really bright guy, but just a lot more international. And the one thing that I was not upset about, and I totally get it, we didn't have the fellowship of all the children running around this year. And it's Vegas. I get it. I wouldn't want to bring my child there either. There's a couple children there. That was it. So that was kind of weird. Usually there's,
Well, I didn't expect that. I thought it would be no big a deal. Not, it's the family vacation destination now. So.
And dude, there was smoking in the building. We thought we went back to like 1990. I'm walking around, just walking around looking and stuff, and people are sitting at all the machines, just sitting there smoking. I was like, what the hell is going on? Is that person crazy? And then I see another one and another one. I didn't know that was legal.
Have a nicotine attack and leave. That would not work. It. So, yeah.
You would have to get up from your machine. They don't want that. So however they pulled that one off, I just got to say, wow.
Yeah, it was the same way here for the longest time. And I haven't been to the casino in 6-8 years now. But at that point, when everywhere else was non-smoking, every time we would go to karaoke, it'd be like, let me get ready for all this cigarette smoke I'm about to go into at the casino, because they still were doing it there. Yeah. Now, part of it, I assumed, was that it was on an Indian reservation and they have their own thing there and their sovereignty. So, but I didn't know it was, still that way in other places. That's kind of crazy. I just kind of thought it was everywhere now. No smoking.
I'm a fan of the Nevada dryness. It was beautiful.
Yeah, but it's the dry heat.
Oh my goodness, the back of my nose and the back of my throat. Oh, they were hurting so bad the whole time. Like, not like hurting real bad, just like super dry.
At a drugstore on the drive across, taking the family out and get nasal saline spray just to survive. It was horrible.
Yeah, I should have done
It's like, it's dry heat. Go dry. Go put a hairdryer in your face for about 45 minutes straight and then talk to me about that dry heat. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, I spent more time on the roof of the parking garage than like walking around on the ground outside. The parking garage was because no cars could get up there on top. So that was like the powwow area once we found it. Good Lord, flat earthers. There was no shortage of treats being handed out, and yeah, it was wild. Chief Crow rocked. You'll see Lowry in the chat every once in a while. He's around in some chats, but he's a professional musician. That's what he does for his career. And well, Chief Crow, he's a musician, and don't follow Crumb. So Cami and I were doing registration most of the time, but I was taking a break and they were in there doing their day before like sound check and kind of a rehearsal. I've never seen, actual musicians that, know all the chords and, what they're talking about. Not a garage band, but actual musicians working out their rhythm changes and stuff. I got to watch that happen. It was one of the most beautiful things I saw the whole weekend, without a doubt, hands down. these three guys, you know, Chief would start and be like, all right, kick it in right there. And then drum would kick in on the keyboard. And he told Lowry just to bring tambourine and some maracas and stuff like that, because he doesn't like flying with his guitar, all that kind of stuff. But just watching them, like, I'd hear it, and then they'd talk for a second and it would change just this little bit, and then they'd talk for a second and it'd change even a little bit more. It only took like 3-4 minutes. And it went from one song that, you know, you could tell that they'd never played before to sounding like they'd been playing for years. It was just beautiful seeing these musicians. I've never done that before. Not like a sound check. I've seen all kinds of big bands, but, you know, they were just playing the song. But now I get to see them, and it was just me in the room. I think there was one of the, Sue Finelli maybe was in there. Maybe it was Sue. I think it was. I don't know. It's all like blurry. It's a tornado of images and visions going through my head. But yeah, just seeing these musicians that are, you know, lifelong musicians. This is what they do, their trade. And to see them just riffing back, okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, up, down, a little bit faster. Oh, cool, gotcha. And then, like, yeah, just, it was like they were speaking a different language that only they could speak. Yeah, that was something pretty cool to catch. I didn't get to see much of any of the presentations. Not why I'm there, you know. I can see all that later. They recorded and everything. But had a lot of great conversations with a lot of the presenters. Ben Balderson, my goodness, dude. Those guys, every time they go somewhere, remember what happened last Flattoberfest? They're driving cross country or they're on a train. And they're trying to get the car. So they get a hotel room, and then a truck runs into the hotel. Something crazy. Well, this time, their truck got stolen out of the parking lot.
That is just insane.
He could not believe it. This thing had over 400,000 miles on it. And it did have, you know, it was a diesel, and it had an engine that could last and all that kind of stuff. But it was a beat-up truck. You know, it's a farm truck. He was getting ready to get a new one and make this thing a permanent farm truck. It had a bungee cord holding the tailgate up. Come on. There was all kinds of trucks in there with dualies and brand new, you know, $70,000 trucks. And he goes, and Ben was like, dude, he's going to get like $150 for this thing. What was he thinking? What were these people thinking? But yeah, but the best attitude in the world about it. There may have been a moment where they were mad, but when we saw them the next morning, bright and early, smiles on their face. Hey, nobody got hurt. We needed a reason to get a new one. We've been putting it off, yada, yada. It's like, you guys are amazing. Yeah, it was very awesome. Great weekend. And
well, Andrew did pop in here with us for a bit early on Monday and kind of give us some of his perspective on it. So it's definitely been interesting to hear about all the variety of just things going on there. Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew B.
Well,
was a bearer of gifts.
The Vegas. What was that? I'm sorry.
Said Andrew B.
was a bearer of many gifts over the weekend. I must say.
He's a good guy. Definitely. Looks like we have a new friend there in chat, John Keeley, saying hey from San Diego. It was his first Flattoberfest. Best time ever, even for Vegas. So it's good to have you here, and glad you had a blast over there. Not sure if you got to run into our buddy Zack here. Or
I was telling everybody, come over and hang out on Iron Row Media on the morning shows. And
nice. Thank you. Nice.
We should have some new people trying to get a hold of us here soon, hopefully. Come on the show and just share their ideas, and people,
Nice.
people are always starting something. And I always tell them Iron Realm's a good place to start. If you're nervous and you've never been online and stuff like that, we're good. You're like the kiddie pool or the shallow end. You come, relax. We don't grill you. We just get to know you a little bit, let you talk. No pressure, even though there always is. Just talking online for the first time is always freaky. I don't care if there's 2 people watching or 200. It doesn't matter. Oh, I remember the first time I got on IRONWORX. I was so nervous.
Me too.
Look at you now.
But yeah, awesome weekend. So many new faces. It had to be like over 40% of the people in there. When they asked how many people is this your first event? Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew was saying almost upwards of probably like 70. So there was just a huge amount of people that had never
Yeah, I didn't
before.
get to see it. And you know me, I lowball everything. But yeah, everybody was shocked. This was the most new people we've seen at one of these. First West Coast one, though. So awesome, I get it. Traveling all the way across the country is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
So any sneaky stars showed up that anyone noticed?
No, some YouTube, I don't want to call them trolls. They had a big channel and they were there. We'll see what they do with it. He was following David around a lot and talking with David. And they were looking for crazy flat earthers and stuff, but they may find some people that said some crazy stuff, I mean, there is no official version, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the textbook that tells us this is what you're supposed to believe. So yeah, people have different ideas about a lot of different things. And no, David's hoping that he said that he would play everything. He's not going to edit it out and this and that. I talked to him one time, explaining why we're not accelerating upwards, blah, blah, blah. Just real simple. And after my answer, he didn't want to talk to him no more. He went and found someone else real quick.
That's great.
That was very informative, but not very entertaining. Who's next?
Yeah. I think it kind of went over his head. And he's okay. I'm going to go over here. But no, and again, can't stress it enough. You could have dropped $1,000 in cash right in the middle of the room, and you would have got it back. What I love about flat earthers. There was just a fellowship, just the camaraderie and all that. Even with newcomers, it's amazing. You would figure by now it's getting big enough to where you're going to start finding, just assholes. Just,
I stay away. That's why I don't even go.
But you don't find them. Just, it's like impossible to be an asshole at these things. You might want to come and I'm going to be Oscar the Grouch this weekend, and you're going to end up Elmo, dude. It's just how it is. You start walking around seeing all these people smiling and people hugging and people. That's the gentleman from Australia. He's like, I can talk to everybody here. Nobody thinks, you can say anything and you don't get that crazy, that look of, are you a lunatic? Yeah, I mean, these are great for so much more than just meeting people or this or that. It's a chance to get all that stuff off your chest that you can't talk to your friends or your family or your coworkers about, like, at all. I mean, they already think you're crazy because you're a flat earther, but then you hear about this new thing, and you just got to speak it out of your mouth and so someone else can actually audibly hear it, not just speak it to the ether, but actually you want to tell somebody this, you want to share it. And a lot of places you can't. We've already learned the lesson. You don't talk about Flat Club, unless you want to be ostracized. Well, here you can say just about anything, and you're not going to get that stare and that look. Yeah, it's awesome. Colombia, we had a lady that owned a bar, I think. She got there late the first night. But yeah, she flew in from Colombia. She's like, I wasn't missing this. It was amazing, man. I couldn't believe it. All the new people that traveled so far to get here. One guy was in from North Carolina. Just heard about Flat Earth. He's like a couple months ago. Never heard of Flattoberfest or all those that we had out there on the East Coast. Nope, just heard about it a few months ago, man. I'm really new.
Awesome. People are still that new.
I know. And we were talking about that a lot over the weekend because a lot of people are saying, we don't watch Glowbusters that much anymore. Like, I get it. Because they were like almost apologizing for us. Like, you guys don't, hey, I get it. How many times can you hear, a flat earth show that's talking about nothing but flat earth? I was like, I know, you've heard it. I mean, pick a topic. You've watched probably 100 videos or 50, 20, whatever. You've seen videos on all these topics for the most part. But it's not for you so much. It's for all these new people that are constantly waking up and coming and need a